Hello and welcome to the news on CCTV International. I'm Oliver Chen in Beijing. Visiting Canadian Prime Minister Stephen Harper has held meetings with China's top leaders in Beijing. They held wide-ranging and in-depth discussions on strengthening trade relations and international issues of common concern. Ren Ting has the story.
Canadian Prime Minister Stephen Harper is on a 5-day visit to China. President Hu Jintao held a meeting with Harper on Thursday. Hu Jintao said China and Canada have great potential for cooperation. He hoped the two countries will work closer in trade and technology cooperation and jointly fight against trade protectionism. He called for coordination in international affairs within the framework of the United Nations, the World Trade Organization, APEC, and other international organizations. Harper shared the view. He said the two economies complement each other and will have a bright cooperative future in trade, energy, and environmental protection. It's Harper's first China visit since he came to office in 2006. He brought a 40-strong member entourage, including top trade and agriculture officials. He also held discussions with Premier Wen Jiabao on Thursday. Both leaders called for more efforts in pushing forward the China-Canadian strategic partnership. Wen Jiabao said the bilateral relations have seen ups and downs in recent years, but the relations could develop steadily on the basis of mutual respect, non-interference in each other's internal affairs, and the protection of each other's investment. Premier Wen Jiabao hoped the two countries would cooperate in energy, climate change, and tackling the financial crisis. He welcomed the Canadian exports and said China is willing to participate in Canada's infrastructure construction. Harper said his government attaches great importance to relations with China. He said Canada adheres to the One China policy and respects its sovereignty and territorial integrity. Canada hopes to increase dialogue and cooperation with China as the two countries celebrate the 40th anniversary of diplomatic ties next year. After the meeting, the two leaders witnessed the signing of several agreements on climate change, energy, agriculture, and education. Ren Ting, CCTV.
Now let's take a brief look at relations between China and Canada over the past 39 years.
Canada was one of the first Western countries to establish diplomatic relations with the People's Republic of China. The official start of relations came on October 13, 1970. Over the past 39 years, despite a few bumps, relations between China and Canada on the whole have witnessed a significant development. Thanks to the concerted efforts of leaders of several generations and people from various sectors of both countries, exchanges and cooperation in all fields have been growing steadily, with continued contacts at the highest levels. The two countries also have conducted close cooperation at the United Nations, the WTO, G20, APEC, and other multilateral organizations. Starting in 1961, Canada was the first Western country to have trade relations with China. Since then, the two-way trade volume between China and Canada has increased dramatically. Business ties have expanded from single commodity trade to diversified cooperation in all sectors. Bilateral trade has grown from $150 million during the early days to $34.5 billion in 2008. China has become Canada's second-largest trading partner, third-largest export market, and the second-largest source of imports. People-to-people exchanges and contacts at the local level have also been on the rise. A series of programs have been put into practice to encourage closer contact in education, culture, and other fields. China is now one of Canada's largest sources of immigrants and overseas students. Chinese has become the third-largest language in Canada. A review of the growth of relations showed that although the two sides differ in national conditions and do not always see eye to eye on every issue, China and Canada should not let these differences stand in the way of their relationship.